There's no tradition finer in America than the holiday that is Thanksgiving, bringing us all together to eat too much, watch football, and try to stay awake while the old folks tell us their stories. But how did it all start? Well, in this Virtually Rick, hold on to your ears, because the truth may astound you. It's time to talk turkey, so let's get virtual. And we're taught that the first ever Thanksgiving was 1621, the Plymouth colony, in what is now modern-day Massachusetts, right? Well, maybe wrong, because actually historians now point to the first ever Thanksgiving about 2 years earlier, with the English settlers arriving at Virginia on their ship, the Margaret, December 4th, 1619. Some historians believe that the first ever Thanksgiving was even earlier in 1565, when the Spanish arrived at St. Augustine in Florida and shared a celebratory meal with the native Timucuans. Ah, history, you saucy little mistress. Thanksgiving, though, has its roots in harvest festivals, where people for thousands of years around the world celebrated and gave thanks for nature's bounty in their fields. It's also quite similar to the Jewish harvest festival of Sukkot. Native Americans had a long tradition of giving thanks, with regular ceremonies linked to the crop cycle before we even turned up with our candied yams. In 1621, though, they celebrated for 3 days long. Hopefully they didn't run out of gravy. And pardon my turkey, but it wasn't until 1863 that, thanks to the author of the nursery rhyme Mary Had a Little Lamb, Sarah Josepha Hale, finally managed to complete her 36-year campaign of bugging everyone to make Thanksgiving a national holiday. Abraham Lincoln finally gave in and created the yearly festival whilst the Civil War was still in full tilt, as a way to help heal the wounds of a nation. But what did they eat? Well, in 1619, they were a religious lot, and under Anglican tradition, they would have probably fasted rather than stuffed their faces. But in the feast of 1621, there is no mention of our friend the turkey, so no gobbling there, probably. And what about pie? Well, we're not really sure. But it was most likely that they ate wildfowl, duck, goose, venison, cornmeal, pumpkin, maybe even cranberries. But here's the big question. Why, oh why, do we watch football? Well, in 1621 they had games and military exercises, but 13 years after Lincoln created Thanksgiving, Yale and Princeton duked it out, and from then on it was picked as the date for college football championships, starting a yearly tradition we all still enjoy today. Thanksgiving, as a family and friends celebration, has evolved to embrace the fact that we live further and further apart, so we use it as a way to join together. And religion figures less to be inclusive of immigrants from every background, the backbone of the very concept of America. To join in and celebrate in common communion with everyone, no matter where you're from. So now you know. History is certainly important, but all that matters this year and every year is that you have a very happy, peaceful and delicious Thanksgiving from all of us here at Spectrum News 1.